You never hear about him taking care of the less fortunate. You never hear about him offering financial assistance. You never hear about him uh, offering jobs. You don't hear about him building homeless shelters, because I know there's a homeless population in Dallas. There's a homeless population everywhere. It seems to me that everything he does is a capitalist move. And I'm not saying he's not entitled to capitalize, because Job in the Bible was very rich. So God doesn't despise, people being rich. And it's not that he doesn't want to bless you with riches, but it is what you do and who you become that matters. Now, Bishop could have, built several homeless shelters by now. He's worth $20 million, according to Google. And because it's Google, he more than likely is worth a little more than that. You never hear about him doing a food drive or giving out food. He has enough money to build a very large food bank to feed his members and people in the community of Dallas. You don't hear about him opening free clinics for the destitute. Okay, poor and homeless people deserve medical care too. And even though most of them have state insurance or Medicaid, Medicare, there's a lot of services that people who don't have the resources I got. I'm a veteran, so I thank God for my veteran status because I have the VA. But people like my mother, who is a victim of the 1980s crack epidemic, she doesn't have a status to fall back on. She doesn't have resources to fall back on. She doesn't have the VA to fall back on. She has nothing. And yes, she can sign up for government insurance, and that'll get her some coverage, but when you're living off of the government insurance, like, they don't really want to cover all of your medications. And as far as treatment centers, very few treatment centers have beds for Medicaid and Medicare. Very few. And there are very few state and government funded treatment centers. It makes no sense for treatment and recovery to be only available to the super rich or those with good insurance. I just think that's not fair. That's not right. And that's not what God would have us do. That's not what Jesus would do. The young man in the Bible came up to Jesus and was like, Savior, Savior, Lord, Lord, I've done this and I've done that. What else do I got to